पंजाब हरियाणा राजस्थान यूपी उत्तराखंड दिल्ली बिहार मध्य गुजरात द्राविड़ आंध्रा तेलंगाना केरला वंगा विंध हिमाचल तावी यमुना गंगा सरस्वती कृष्णा ब्रह्मपुत्रा उज्जल जलधि तिरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा भारत नागरिक सर्वधर्म नागरिक संविधान विधाता जनगण मंगल विनायक जय हे भारत संविधान भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे वंदे मातरम। जय भारत। Management, buildings, a vast term for everybody. International Professional Engineering Certificate, valid up to September. Just for your reference, I am showing. This is my fellow certification. And this is my C certification, Chartered Engineer. These are only for references so that you know what actually exists. And this is buildings, part of profession, and then field engineering. Field engineering, what is field engineering? Design engineering, what is that? And engineering, what is that? And management, what is that? All to be well understood, no mix up. Field means field of work. It can be in office or it can be in site or location where work is to be done. Talked of lot till now in my last videos, last talks, and I think if you are not so busy or if you have time, you might have gone through this, or whenever you have time you can go through those, because videos of course take some time and I cannot produce videos for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour, because these are knowledgeable videos. You cannot express your mind just in half an hour or 15 minutes. This is not politics related, this is not news related, but these are for description of work related. Well, you may take time, I cannot say that, but I am doing my job. I am trying to disseminate to you through this media, Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. I am putting links onto those also. LinkedIn, for example, LinkedIn and Twitter. If you wish, you can get benefit of this, or if you don't wish, well, I am doing my job. I don't want to keep anything to me. Whatever I have collected in my life, career professional life, I just want to share with you people, particularly those who have just entered field or are going to enter field, because it's difficult to learn in field on your own, and people are not that cooperative these days. I'll tell you what to do, what not to do, and of course if somebody tells you to do this, you cannot do that, because until you learn yourself, you cannot learn engineering. You attempt yourself, you effort yourself, you cannot learn anything, because engineering is not defined in books. It's not defined to some scope of work. It's very vast field. Every project is new, every drawing has different styles, every code is different, and every person is different. Every person is also, you cannot learn same thing from me as you learn from somewhere else. What your professor taught you, he cannot teach you, and what I may share with you, professor may not share with you. There's a differences. It's not fixed science. It's varying science. It's varying field means you have to learn whatever specific you learn on one project. It's not necessary that you learn same thing on other project. Procedures may be same, systems may be same, but technology is different, design is different. A smallest building maybe have many designs, while very big project have many drawings, thousands of drawings, hundreds and thousands of specification papers, and voluminous data you can say. Voluminous data through which you may not even go through all those when you complete project. A project may be having through 3 4 years, for example, plant, a facility plant, ethylene plant or some other plant, which may be produced in 3 years or 4 years, and it may having thousands of documents and thousands of drawings, which one man cannot go through all that, through even throughout life of project, and there are thousands of people working for those projects. So it's completely different, and there are many disciplines in on this project. So even for small building there are so many ways, and where you have to decide your role. When I say role of field engineer or role of site engineer, role of design engineer or role of there are so many classes of engineering these days, and there are so many sections, so many divisions. We may say construction division, design division, construction division, planning section or division, whatever we call it, or quality and safety and accounts, and so many, and so means you cannot say I'm fit everywhere. Of course you know everything. You know, without knowing you cannot move at all. You know everything. But role, as far as role is concerned, every company has different job description. They define this your job, or you define yourself if your organization is unable to define. You define or don't define what you have to do. Someone is site manager, someone is design manager, somebody is design engineer, somebody is proof checker, somebody is quality guy, somebody is safety guy, somebody is planning guy, somebody is doing something irrelevant to you. But all have one approach, that focus is one, target is one, destiny is one, and that is work and project. Project is to be delivered, whatever project is there. That's main point, and your role is fixed in that. I have seen engineers who are working on designs only. They don't want to come out of that. Yes, they enjoy that, fine, they enjoy that, but they forget that design is meaningful only when it's implemented, when it's worked, when it's carried out. If just keeping yourself in designs and don't think what's happened inside and don't know how it worked, then you cannot verify your design. Yes, theoretically it's okay. Computers will accept this. You will verify everything will do, but actually what will happen on site, you do not know how it actually responded on site. That's most important, and how it responded. Maybe 50, 60 years back it was done. They don't have any information of that. No documents are available. For example, you can, even in design you consider certain weights, certain grid load, live load, this action, that action, and so many wind forces, wind forces. You consider every aspect from design and codes. You apply codes, everything. But was that practically done on site? That's important. Yes, you constructed that. You constructed varying mixes, thousands of mixes were used, thousands of mixes were delivered to site for whatever building or structure it is, and every batch is varying. Nothing is uniform. This is behavior must be varying, must be uniform, but there is no record of that. There is no record of that. So how it works? We have to question ourselves. Means whatever you consider, we are contemplating design philosophy, whatever you think of, is that going to happen in service of that structure? What do you imagine for soil property? Is that really there when you do actual work? Are you getting same material which you expected and design you planned? Everything must be considered, and that's where we are. What we write on books, or write in every catalog, or write in per data sheet, or write on our own design papers, on design drawings or design specifications, that is our contemplation. But those who are implementing that, they are not thinking your way. They think different way. They say, no, we have to do ourselves. Whatever planner thinks, site guy doesn't think that. Whatever designer thinks, Site man doesn't think that. There's a difference. Everybody thinks it is ultimately project is delivered, that is final target. And that target has to be kept in mind. A designer has to keep in mind problems which are faced by implementer, by site man. A designer doesn't keep that in mind means that designer is defective. That designer must keep himself or herself on site and understand problem. And if that person is understanding problem, if that understands that problem, that person will have better design than a person who is purely theoretical. Only thinks sitting in an AC room. Sitting in AC room service is not required. That is not sufficient. We have to understand site problems. You have to understand all other conditions. You have to understand how people think about material. You have to understand how flash shedding occurs on site. Simply having stresses, steel and concrete is not enough. You have to see workability. You have to see constructability. You have to see buildability. You have to see hysteresis of materials. You only keeping out ultimately means state or serviceability limits and we design accordingly and deliver is not adequate. You have to think site problem. You are happy to design very slim column and so I have done small size of column and this is steel consist, but you don't understand there is a cost design execution problem, concreting problem. That point you are not understanding. That is where a layers, you can say a coordination is required, a kind of unity is required, unity in team. If you cannot understand problem of site and site man cannot understand what you thought of, then you cannot deliver, you cannot expect delivery of the project. And construction, if is not delivered that way, then your design and product relations are absent. There is no relation at all. You are not writing complete instructions on drawing and design guy thinks that he can assumes. They assume. If your design is defective, only showing drawing, elevations, actions, this and that, and you're not telling what to do, or there's no interaction at all, you think you get 100% what you did on drawing? Never. Never. Means speak has not been created. Speech has not been created. What is a speech here? What is speak here? Your drawing must clearly say what requires to be done. You have to ensure that. Did you ensure that, engineer of design? You did not ensure that. You just issue a drawing based on theoretical calculations and you think it's right. This is within limits, or this is tall and all this is safe. According to you, it is safe. That's right. You proved it. You produced it, you delivered a package of drawings to that site. But that package, and to ensure works doesn't work. That point requires serious consideration on part of designer. Design is excellent indeed, but that excellence must be done on site, and that is where I am very concerned. I appreciate design as well as I appreciate site work. Both should be standardized, both should be perfect, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, at least in our country. It doesn't happen in 90% cases. There are some companies who are professionals. I cannot uniformly blame all, but keeping abreast attitude of engineers and attitude of site guys in our land, I can with command say that unity is absent. Unity of approach, unity of technical knowledge, unity of implementable knowledge, unity of design and site work remain absent. I don't know why. Until whatever design is done and it is implemented, we cannot say design is very excellent or good or bad. Your drawing is very attractive, but it doesn't communicate what actually you want to. Site guy has his own approach, contractor his own approach, superintendent his own approach, quality guy his own approach, safety one his own approach. Everybody has an approach. So one work has been distributed to many sections, and that causes a problem. That problem is not solved, and until that problem is solved, you may be excellent designer and that person may be excellent prosecutor of activities, but there is no link, virtual link, communicative link, coordinational link, liaison link, and that design is not translated to quality work. So quality remains off, distant from both designer and prosecutor. This distance, this bridge gap on which this bridge has to come, there's a gulf, there's a ditch. Who shall fill in? Who shall bridge it? This bridge is to be constructed by designer and prosecutor. But that doesn't happen. Nowhere. I have not seen this happening either on papers or in action. What is solution then? This means, in fact, designers and prosecutors, executors, or contractors you may say, or professional site engineers you may say, whatever name you can take, it doesn't make a difference. They are in isolation to each other. Practical problems are not known to our designers, and design issues are not known to our working people on field or line managers. So where actually problem lies? What I can say, problem lies in our mindset. That problem requires to be filled in. We cannot say that we are not spending money on projects. Money is spent, but the return is not full, because if quality lapses, you cannot say you have returned your investment to project. Your project was financed by someone with a hope that it will be used and it will act as asset, but that didn't happen. Somewhere there is a lapse and resulting failure, or you are not getting 100% what you planned or you destined. This is called management lapse, I can say, professional management lapse. Nothing to do with business management, but with the technical engineering management lapse. Designer did good job, of course, and prosecutor also did good job to his understanding, but good job is not received by public or by user. This means lacuna access. That is what we want to find out, where lacuna is. Quality is not delivered. Of course, product is delivered. Reliability is not delivered. Of course, product is delivered. Safety is not delivered. Safety in use, I have to say, but product is delivered. Durability is not delivered. Product is delivered. So everywhere there is a lapse of delivery. Theoretically, you may say, yes, project is over. Somebody came and inaugurated that. But that inauguration is not our destiny. Project destiny is good job, good article, good product, user-friendly product, and long-lived style product. You must have seen buildings are tilting, settling, cracks are developing, and same thing happening to many structures. Not only here, but also in many other places, in other countries. After all, some lapse is somewhere, and we have to find that lapse. I talked about role of engineers. Yes, I talked of role of engineers, and I talked of project management. Project management cannot be related to only management knowledge, only MBA type or PMP type knowledge. That that program does not give fitness to our discipline, our field, because engineering field is dominated by professional engineering. It's not dominated by management. It creates management. Its own engineering judgment creates management. It's not management knowledge that creates management here. Our management is different. Our management in engineering is completely different. No MBA can define it, and no PMP can define it. It's completely different world. And this management depends upon person to person. You may be engineer by qualification, but you are a manager, don't forget it. You may be diploma, or you may be degree, or you may be PhD, or whatever you are. You are engineer by your academic qualification, but you are a manager, don't forget it. You are an advocate yourself in engineering, don't forget it. You are a justice in your engineering, don't forget it, because you are going to take decisions at every step. Even your design or at site, you are going to take decisions on your own without any input. Your own created input, you are advocate yourself. You are analyzer yourself, you are synthesizer yourself, and you are a maker yourself, or you are a rejecter yourself, or you acceptor yourself. You are there with many mindsets. You are safety responsible, you are quality responsible, you are planning responsible, you are material responsible, you are labor responsible, you are machine responsible, you are system responsible. Tell me one thing you are not responsible for. You are responsible for everything. And that's why I actually used to call a successful engineer a person who can work from position of guard or office boy to position of top head. That person can call oneself engineer, because engineer means genius. Do not shy, you are genius. That's why you are engineer. Use your mind. This is definition of engineering, and you are bound to your mind. Is your job. And when you learn engineering in a college, university, you use your mind only, then you can learn. You just imagine how many analyses you worked off when you learn theory of structure, when you learn designs, when you learn applied mechanics, strength of materials, when you learn fluid mechanics. Just imagine. Thousands and thousands of calculations you did. What did that mean? Yes, that means learning, of course, but using mind, not cramming. There's a difference. A study is based on mindset, and a study is based on memory set. Your study is not memory set. Engineering is not based on memory. Engineering is based on mind application, value of mind, power of mind, height of mind, not memory. That's difference. You use memory, of course, but you cannot use memory in profession. You can use memory for references, but for calculations, there is no value of memory. Every engineer must keep it in mind. Where will work in your discipline, in your field? You may be discipline engineer, you may be professional engineer, you may be site engineer, you may be design engineer, you may be coordination engineer, wherever you work. You cannot base on memory. Memory is not important for you. Analysis is important for you. Analysis of activities, analysis of designs, analysis of theory, analysis of analysis itself. That is where engineers stand for, and where role is involved. We may simply say this is the role of a person, but that person has to decide his role first itself. What it does. Sometimes your role doesn't say something, what you do, because you think that is required to be done, so you do it. Role is defined only for prime activities, not for activities. There are many activities in every activity, sub-activities and others. Also you have to cannot define that. You have to be smart enough. You have to be intelligent enough. And don't confine yourself. Keep that specialized with you, but don't confine yourself that it's my job. Your job is complete, blanket job you have. Your job is what? Your projects must be delivered. That's your job. Nothing else. You may be specialized in designs, or maybe specialized in prosecution, or in quality, or in safety, or planning, or whatever. But your destiny is one. Project be delivered. That's it. What's your contribution in that? You know. How much better you can make it, you know. No way out. This mindset you have to keep in. Adopt it. Don't keep in isolation. Oh, I am the science guy. I am not concerned with site work and this and that. No, that is called childish behavior. Don't be child. Act like a mature person. I have seen many people who don't understand this point, and this point is very important from professional angle. And really, sometimes I feel it. Some people have said, oh, I am design engineer, or he's design engineer, he uses mind, and this site guy is layman. Okay, no problem, I'm layman. You be intelligent. But give me something which I can do. Simple. I am a field man, I don't know anything about design, I don't know anything. Give me something which I can directly do without any problem on site. Can you? If your drawing comes to me and I work on that, I am unable to work. I find in one drawing itself 20 questions. I raise them, so what's the use of your drawing? If in every drawing I have to find 10 questions to raise and find solution, you think that drawing is standable? Is that drawing what? You have to raise question yourself. You have done some drawing, and you have not done specifications on that. You have not specified anything. Specifications are different. Those specifications I am bound to apply in field, being a field engineer. But your drawing is causing a problem on that route. There is no common road map for your design and specifications and field work. If there is no one road, no one track, no one unison, then I have to go this way or that way or which way, I don't understand. Who shall do that? You have kept yourself in design, okay, I have just following codes. Okay, follow codes, I respect that. But follow work code also. Not code of designs only. Not code of national integration standardization. Code of work, which is not defined anywhere. If workability is not done, constructability is not done, just think what you check in concrete workability, you check. Why you check? That is root of your knowledge. Without workability you cannot pour. Same thing without workability, easy constructability, you cannot do work on site. So your design, if it cannot be implemented comfortably, professionally, what is meaning of that design? I am not raising a complainable question, I am just raising a conducive question. Did you ever think of that? If a designer can think that, if a designer can imagine that and keep in mind that design, though it may be very simple or it may be very complicated, but that designer shall moderate it and put to best use on site for implementation. Design has not only role to decide, calculate and say this is right or this is not right, this is serviceable or not. Designer has many other roles too, which our designers actually do not involve with, which is actually a problem for people to work in. That is why I am interested to conduct this general talk involving roles of site engineer. And when I say site engineer, this doesn't mean only site designated engineer. This means everybody who is working on site in a professional capacity, maybe from quality, maybe from safety, maybe from construction, maybe from, you can say, building or planning or design itself or engineering itself. Engineering means site engineering or field engineering. Everybody to that extent is site engineer. For me, means engineer who is responsible directly or indirectly in site, and part of that is shared by design also. This is what my definition for you can say management definition of a site engineer or site man or project manager or project engineer or whatsoever official designation do you have, nothing to impact upon my team. My site engineer is different. A person who can deliver site is site engineer, and that's it. And that delivery means design plus construction plus quality plus safety plus equal to product. ISO 9001-2015 is not same as ISO 9001-2008. There's a difference sky and earth. Because responsibilities have been fixed. It's not simply assurance, it's responsibility. Management has been changed. Total quality management has been changed. Now blame of quality cannot simply go to quality engineer or site professional engineer. It goes to owner of that project, owner of that company. Head of that company is also responsible. That person was not responsible in 2008 version. So we have to change mindset. So when head is responsible, designer is also responsible, construction guy is also responsible, planning guy too is also responsible to some extent, and quality person too. Do you think what I'm saying rightly or wrong? This is not in my hands. For example, Sigma 6 say only 3.5 errors in 1 million. I don't accept that. And civil engineering doesn't work. 3.5 errors only in 1 million activities. I do not accept this. Yes, for production, for automatic machine, it's okay, but this is something miraculous. You can create only 4 or 3.5 mistakes in products when you deliver 1 million products. This is something not applicable in field of construction or design or civil engineering. Not acceptable. Well, I'm not rejecting as well. We can take it differently, say, though it's not done, we are using only ISO 9001-2015, and I will talk of that also later on. I'm just giving reference. You are saying in 1 million activity, 1 million. Can you count 1 million activities in our country, in our field of civil engineering? Yes, we can count indeed. How? I will say each bar has 4 activities. Each bar we cut, we bend, and we install. 4 or 5 activities we can say it is. So there will be 1,000 lakhs of bars on site. So how many activities are there then? Similarly, for formwork, there are so many activities we can say, we can count them. For columns, there are so many activities. For beams, so many activities. So if you go that way, you will find somewhere lakhs and lakhs of activities. But who will check them? How can you say how many errors are there? So just keep that off, off from our field of discussion. I don't consider the scope of a talk, but ISO 9001 is there, which is grass. It's a grass master teller. It's a master guide. It says quality is quality of totality. When you say total quality, it means total company is responsible, and that's it. Simple. It has given many changes of documentation and of procedures and not, but simply says you define what you are going to do. I have to define myself what I am going to do as a company, as an organization. Okay, I define and I approve, and there's a third party and also my internal party. Both will audit time by time. My person says, okay, my quality guy audits, my quality manager audits internally, and external guys, they have to audit my work. every 2 or 3 years. Okay, fine, agree, no problem, third parties. But my procedure is mine, provided it works. If my procedure cannot work, then I have to change it. Why should it not work when I write? Question is that. If I write something for work, it must work. I can write something for work only when I have experience. There is nothing as such in my education of engineering that can teach me all this. They have standard subjects, set subjects, you have to learn only those. Okay, we learn those and forget it after that. But we have to learn additional subjects in field, which we never even thought of. When an even engineer, he knew brilliant B goes to site or to factory or to somewhere else, what can that person do? Can that person apply bending moment, shear force directly there or deflection? Nobody will understand that on site. What are you talking of? There is so much work, go and do that. Can that person do? Hey guy, come on, take these drawings and go and start building. Can that person do? And you're moving on side, walking, visiting side, some carpenter, come on, sir, come on. I have done this column, come on, see is right or wrong. Can that person do? That is we talk of. For them, work is important. And if you cannot even check, if you cannot even examine, test check it, what they expect you to do for them? Did you ever think this way? Did you ask this question to your professor in university? How shall I work here? Did some professor tell you that? When you wrote your thesis, did you check this point? No. So, where is product quality? You say, okay, I learn from my seniors. Alright, you learn from your seniors. But learning shall take some time. It may take 5 years, 10 years. Because projects in civil engineering are not that rapidly moving. It's not a train or flight. It takes time. That is where we are. And where we cannot afford because we want quick promotion, quick money. But your position of civil engineer shall not provide you that. That's why you are tilted towards management studies or some other studies. You want to skip off this. I'll skip engineering. Okay, skip. That's your choice. But management, how far can you take with you? That management company which employs you after MBA, how far can they move? Because both are linked. Without engineering, there can be no industry, there can be no factory, and when there is no factory, no business, MBA shall not sit on a tea shop or a pawn shop. MBA needs certain backend, and that backup is industrialization. So without engineering, industrialization is not possible. So MBA is also barred there to some extent, but engineer is itself free. Engineer is omni-available, omnipresent, omni-required. But management is not required everywhere. Because in engineering, management is different. Yes, I am not talking of commercial management. I am not talking of business management. I am talking of engineering management in every branch of engineering. So is civil and structural and architectural and structural and plants and facilities everywhere. There is role required, definition of role, job description, that we have to decide. Either decide yourself, I mean to say, system. There are two issues. Either you accept some system or devise your own system, and then stick to that. If you join some system, you have to stick to that. Of course, there are some amendments later on you can make, you can contribute if they accept those system designers, or you have to construct your own system, devise your own system. That you can do, and that is job description. That's also the scope of work. That's where your role is required, is defined. So you are the director of your role, you are designer of your role, you are script writer of your role, and you are performer of your own role. You are king in that role. Self-manager you are there, self-commander you are there. Do it. Designer is that, remember. Designer is that, and site manager also is that. Resident engineer is also that. They are. That is basic, that is elementary, that is primary, without which we always move in air. If you are that basic of structural organization in this concept of role, you can be reliable manager. For me, every engineer is manager, every engineer is director, every engineer is author, every engineer is writer, every engineer is producer. For me, my understanding. Because we do not need any formal education of management, because every day we manage. We manage labor, workers, we manage machines, equipment, we manage designs, formula, we manage procedures, we manage interactive people, we manage other management companies, we manage many others. There's no one point that you only manage. Then how can I learn it from someone who does not know this? So I have to self-learn. This is a requirement, because on site or on field there is no teacher, there is no professor. You are teacher, your colleagues are teacher, your boss is professor, or you professor. Your labor is your associate, your workers are your associate. You have to learn about activities. You have to ensure what is given in theory or in drawing, or whatever codal requirement is there, it is fulfilled or it's not fulfilled. That is what we have to understand. We have to differentiate, and we have to teach and learn. We have to ratify in field what we designed or what we learned is actually transmitted there or not transformed. That is role. So I am talking of role of field engineer or site engineer, which is actually working engineer for me, functional engineer for me, and how that person interacts with others in a professional disciplinary manner. That is another thing. But everybody actually is site engineer. It may be contractual engineer, it may be field engineer, it may be design engineer, it may be planning, or whatever role one is talking. To some extent they are working for site. So virtually they are site engineers, because their decision making power, their conceptual power, their writing power, their defined methods, all are going to deliver site work. That's why they are all site related, work related. Clear? We have to keep this in mind all the time. Do not take it as designation, take it as a mode of working. My mind is little different. I always trying to change something, because that's where I stand for. We say engineer means social changer. We should say engineer for a change. We say that. And recently there was some seminar like engineering for change. Yes, engineering is for change. That is basic philosophy of engineering. Just imagine there is a forest, there is a desert or a wood, and we want to transform that area from wood status to a city status. Where engineer does. That is job of engineer. This means you have changed an existing terrain of nothing, no dressing out, to a modified city, new city. This may be an industrial city, residential city, or whatever type of city. So you change that. You created a society there, a habitation there. That is what engineering is. Means engineer for a change. So when you can change whole, why can't you change your working style, your procedures? You can do. That is what is engineer. Same is designer, same is site work, same is planner, same everyone. Change. When ISO guys can change, why can't we change? When Sigma can change, why can't we change? When codes be changed, why can't we change? Think of. Change means engineering. Intelligence it is. Genius degree it is. And work it is. Delivery it is. Design it is. Design, which I call X-rays, in fact. Something in your mind, generated in your mind, philosophically, spiritually, and you produce on papers. So this is X-ray equipment here. You produce your design and somebody did it. Simple thought, simple answer, but it should be reliable. It should be reliable. Means it should be safe, it should serve, and it should move long. Reliability definition equals safety plus service power plus long distance travel or durability. That is called reliability, or if you wish, you can add to this value engineering also. No harm, because after all, you are getting some value out of every work, and that value can be financial, that value can be standard of weight, that can be quality, that can be something unknown which helps your delivery product. Because when you are thinking, it doesn't cost you money wise, it costs you strength wise. So your delivery of mind can make many better deliveries. And I call it optimum use of mind with optimum use of materials, natural materials. As much better you can make that, make better. That is where engineering philosophy requires. We know every material changes. Even our materials also change. Concrete changes, steel reinforcement changes, tendons changes, everything changes, keeping in view more and more time. Hysteresis happens there. Material is hysteresis now. It gets stressed and stressed and stressed and stressed, and 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Oh, material hysteresis is there. It has lost its properties. It happens. You must have learned in your philosophy of engineering what is material hysteresis. But that is where we have to understand what metal stands today. It won't be there after 10 years. It may go up, up, and then down, down, down. It happens. After all, this is natural. It keeps on changing. It's inorganic even then. Our organic material is decomposable. All organic materials are decomposable. But what we use in construction or in somewhere, that is not organic. Organic is actually enemy of this. Organic is foreign material for our construction. So we always say this is impurity. There should be no organic element in it. Okay, the organic material in that. But even inorganic is not permanent. But for life of that structure that is permanent, it is accepted. So we are using properties of material. We are using properties of everything. So our role has many dimensions. No book can cover this strength, its scope. No book can cover. No book can give complete design of something. It can give only parts design. No book can give complete design from excavation to complete finishes and delivery. No book can give you that. So we have to be smarter in that case, because we generate ourselves something for our own use. There is no philosophic author here. There is no novelist here. There is no poem here. There is no story writer here. It is work. It is basis. It has basis. It has foundation and superstructure. That is where we are required. Every person cannot do it. And learning has no limit. There is no buffer stop. There is no stop end. This moves continuously. And even after delivery of that, delivery of product, your project, it continues to work for decades, which you are not involved with, but must be if it is done. We do not know what level we created, we delivered that project, what was strength that time. Of course, we have sampling, we have testing, but in 10 years, in 15 years of service, in 20 years of service, what product behaved, how it conducted, we do not know. This means there is some problem, of course. When we see this, when it deteriorates, when some structure deteriorates, our eyes open that time only, and we talk of, okay, investigate it, examine it, inspect it, and retrofit it. Well, it's different world then. My claim is, my stake is what my role is. That is where I said I had to define. Let me have a look on that first. We'll look on that. I discussed yesterday about this, like I can say, role of site engineer. As I say site engineer, but it's actually not site engineer. We discussed the role of site engineer, though there was some value engineering talk, and then it was followed by owner designer, contractor, and definitions, and then what is quality, what is contractor, what is site engineer, and what is site engineering, and then I say resident engineer, contractual engineer, and chief engineer, etc. Then project manager, and all these definitions we talked of. What is engineer, what is owner, and then what types of activities are there. For example, I said take over, and then planning, mobilization, surveying, start, kick off, construction, quality supervision, completion, and maintenance. And this is actually what we are going to talk about length. And then we say what role, then this is EQM has earthquake management and site, all the role work, and then soil report, and that design review, site report, and all this testing of materials and piling, etc. And this I defined. That's okay. We talked of that various activities, but that is just a fundamental definition. A question is not fundamental definition. Question is something else that we can define and learn in stages, just to keep ourselves happy that I learn it. But management is not limited to that one. Management is something else. It's very wide management, and we can define in books, but I don't want to go to that point because I'm not related to books, and no, it's not easy to learn everything from books when there are so many issues involved in our profession. Books cannot give us every approach because books hardly has 200 pages, 300, 400, 500, 1000 pages. You cannot get all that from books. So what I actually discussed with charter issue, and you know, I just for refresh I said charter means when you start some, you just found some project, you start thinking of the project, means you have to authorize certain people for that. You have to involve those people as stakeholders in that. And what are basis of finances you involved in that, materials you involved in that, subcontracts and vendors you involved in that, and philosophical designers you into that. Then you can say who shall be all stakeholders. So there's a simple definition of that was means what is say necessity of project. Plus you say policy compliance of economy. And these are all philosophical discussions. Why you want project, you have to see necessity of project and policy compliance of economy or organization. Then is a service that this project shall serve to economy, or these are all basics. Then you say listing deliverables means what actually this project delivers would be. Then you say listing important milestones. Yes, that's very important. And of course, this is listing stakeholders. What I'm talking, all this talking about charter means what charter should have. So you can say why a project is required, what is policy compliance or in this economy or financial economy or organization, and service that this project shall serve to economy or organization, or then what delivers it on this project. Then you can say important milestones means we have to list that one. Then stakeholders, who are stakeholders, and then you can say budget allocation, what expected is proposed budget allocation. Then you can say availability of basic infrastructure to allow project or acquisition requirements means. Then you can say defining scope by descriptive statement, and you may say understanding scope by thorough analysis founded on technical or feed details provided. Means feed comes in that picture, means feed itself is a very big document. Means then feed means the front end engineering design, and which gives you technology of this project. We import technology from somewhere or its own developed technology, or what resources that would be, means that kind of chapter is that detail that must be in your charter. Detail provided corroborated by various technological philosophies. And then you add to understanding deliverable probabilities. What sort of deliverables you get, you have to understand that. Then you can say with normal good business risks. Of course, there are risks when you do something, you spend money on something, you say that there are business risks. And then understanding risks, what sort of risks are they? They may say requirement of risk management plan, then you have to manage those risks, you are going to see this. This all are part of your management system. Your ISO 9000 just directs that risk. Means once you discover there are risks, you just calculate the risk, and then how shall you handle with all this. And you can say assessment of goals, what actually your goals were and how you are going to get them. Are you going in that direction or you are not going in that direction? Then expected growth of business means how will you move your business further on this. Can you or you cannot do. Then you may say charter formation. You have to standardize your charter in that case. You have to make certain form of that, and who shall approve or authorize that one, of course. And then you can say duration of project, how long it shall to deliver this project completed for operational purpose. And you can say then existence of project and project manager, who would be responsible for this. Then what is definition, allotment, allocation of resources, means from where shall you get resources to this. Then I guess announcement. Once you have gone through all this stage of procedures to constitute a charter, to describe your charter, to possibly deliver this means charter, you can say you have to announce one day that this is our charter, this is our possible required organization type, champion, delegation definition, black belt requirement, whatever that means. Question is, this charter is actually not statutory charter. This charter is your own, and it is defining from project necessity to deliverables, and keeping in view business interest and social interest and national interest and every other interest. So its track is, you can say that, necessity of project, policy, necessity of project, policy, compliance of economy or organization, service that this project shall serve to economy or organization, listing deliverables, listing important milestones, listing stakeholders, proposed budget allocation, availability of basic infrastructure to allow project or acquisitions requirements, defining scope by descriptive statement, understanding scope by thorough analysis founded on technical or field details provided, corroborated by various technological philosophies, understanding probabilities, understanding deliverable probabilities with normal good business risks, understanding risks and requirements of risk management plan, assessment of goals, expected growth of business, charter formation, charter authorization, duration of project, existence of project, project manager, definitions and allotment, allocation of resources, formal announcement, possible required, organization type with champion, designation, definitions and black belt requirements or not. These processes shall be updated as and when required during currency of life cycle of project. Means this charter is at beginning, but it shall be amended from time to time depending on further developments on this project. This may be better or not better, this may be positive or negative, everything should be reflected in a continuous way, or you can say during currency of this project. Then let's go something else then. This was one point. It's not very big explanation I have given you, it's only precise explanation I am giving you just to understand where do we stand in project management. Then you say planning, development of project plan, you can say how the planning means development of project plan, major processes constituent within planning, knowledge area integration. This is a basic title of that, and you can say what actually ingredients are we using, what ingredients are here in this project plan. Let's say that one. Now, first you plan something, you was planning duration for this. That is your initial point. If you do not know duration, there is no meaning of planning, because without duration you cannot do anything. You have to plan something. So, planning duration you have to consider. This is my planning duration. This whole period is there to deliver this project from here to that point, means from in conception to delivery period. So, that's called planning duration. Where I said that durability, this means this is linked to durability. Your project must work correctly in that period. Your project means construction project at that time. Once it is completed, it's not construction, that's operation project. So when you are going to do this, you are naming it as construction or developing project, means you are developing its body, its shape. That's called construction. Then say planning duration. Of course, planning duration says that better stand for 1 minute, 2 minutes to see how it works. Like I say, let us say that 1 minute. Okay, we will check it differently now. Let me see that. Get up by standing, because I feel sometimes drowsy and don't feel drowsy in every way. So let me think of this way. Let's say no, what I'm saying is, we're just talking about charter. No, my concentration is going different way. I'm talking of planning, and planning means complete mind concept, complete imagination. Means you don't know anything what's going on, but we have to think in a different mode. I'm standing on site, say. I'm standing. Imagine that you are standing on site. I'm not sitting in office. Though I'm sitting in office, I'm sitting on my computer, on my piece of paper. I say I have to plan this project on an entire basis. That is planning, and I have to integrate all those. This means I must have thorough knowledge of this project. I must be having complete context of this project. This means I must know what this project is. I cannot simply say, okay, I sit down and start doing bar chart, and finish. That is not required. First, I have to understand what I have to do and what is my role. If my role is just to draw it on a piece of paper, I don't accept this. Never. My role is not just to draw or just to define activities. My role as planner is to understand this first. So let me see where my activities are involved in planning. Let us say this way. I say, what is planning duration before charting out onto working in details? Let us say 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. I have to fix that. I cannot say that it will start on that day, but I can say in terms of months or weeks, I can mark that. So I say this is my planning duration. Then scope review means someone has done something on that project, that's why it came to me, or I am doing it initially myself. It depends upon that. So let us say, what is review of scope? What we have to do actually? What this project is all about, I must know. What is intention behind this project? What review is needed? What the contents are there? I must know. It may be, I may get it from feed, or I may get from somewhere else, some other source. If I don't have such source, I will demand that one, because I am a planner. So I get that scope, and its verification as well, that yes, this is to be done. Then I have to see whether I got complete information or I don't have complete information. That's my job to ensure. Nobody shall come and tell me, no, do this means then I am not an independent one. I have to study that scope and I have to see myself what is missing. If something is missing, some information is missing, I have to demand that. Demand it. What's the problem? No problem at all. So I say schedule of missing information. Then there's some contact. Contact doesn't mean execution contact here. Means we have to review everything. Contract review. Because contract is there actually, I am going to plan that execution work. So contract review, you have to remove what contract is there, which type of contract it is, and then what are deliverables out of that scope. When you have a scope, it must say what this project is all about. And that scope defines constituents of this project. And this shall lead to delivery material, product. Delivery is listing. So we have to understand information on that, what I have to deliver. Then once I know what are deliveries, then I can say these are stages of delivery from beginning till end. And these stages are called milestones. So these are deliveries milestone. This means we have got railway stations or airports, hopping journey is that or direct journey is that. We have got various locations that we have to stand here in this time, we have to park here in this time, we have to move from here this time. Means these milestones are there. We know we have to travel like this. So we have our basic scale fixed, which should not be changed immediately, because this is where is our reference. We have to measure ourselves keeping this datum line. Now listing of projects, because of course there is one project, but this one project has many more sub projects within this, within scope of work, according to deliveries milestones and whatever contents are there in scope of this project. And what a sort of contract is? We will say listing of sub-projects. Then further milestones, project milestones. Okay, this sequence goes as it is. And then we say, when we fix milestones, dates are fixed, duration is fixed. So impact of liquidated damages, because if project milestone is not delivered, this means there is lapse on project planning and project prosecution. If that delivery is not made on that day, and it shall impact upon project owner. So liquidated damages come into picture. Impact of liquidated damages, in short we call it LD. Actually it's a kind of penalty or recovery from contractor. Of course, then we can say long lead items. Long lead items. This is sometimes an important term. What is long lead items? I'll explain to you this. Let me just in brief explain now. There is an item on project, permanent item, means payable item, and that takes lot of time in production or in procurement. Maybe your project is only for 1 year or 2 years, and this takes 2 years in itself for production. This means you cannot produce this item, you cannot procure this item within duration of this project. So you cannot do this item this means. So how to solve it? You call it long lead items. Means you have to work as owner of this project or engineer of this project you'll say award of contract. You have to manage that item till that time when contract comes into picture. Till that time you have to handle this item's procurement yourself, which means you have to decide about specifications, you have to decide about fitness of this item, you have to decide about every property of this item, which source you are going to decide, and then you have to place order of this item. That's called long lead item. And you have to make a contract, you have to enter into a contract with that manufacturer of this item yourself as an owner, and that contract has to be shifted to contract later on by operation of novation. That is contractual novation. Your accountability on that contract of procurement, your responsibilities, your liabilities, every responsibility shall be legally transferred to contractor once contract is awarded, and that's called long lead item. Then say major items on project. What are major items? We say then decision about sequence. You have to decide sequences, how you have to move this. Then you can say decisions about overlapping activities. There are some activities which are in sequence, there are some activities which are in parallel, and there are some activities which are in overlapping duration. Means don't wait for want this activity to complete, but start other activity by allowing overlap duration. Then decisions about sequences and overlapping. After that is work breakdown structures. Means you have to define certain codes to your activity for purpose of budgeting, as well as cost control or monitoring of projects, monitoring of activities. Then you have to say work packages. Work packages you have to decide along with detailed activities. Then you can say activities quantification. Activities quantification, that is, you may say quantity surveying is very significant to work out all these parameters and value of resources and quantity of resources or projection of resources or histograms of resources. This activities quantification is very important for all items, and particularly for those items who are dominating items. For example, RCC, structural RCC is very dominating item, or structural work is very dominating items, because without structures nothing can be moved. Time allocation to activities, then what time you are going to allocate on each activities, then based on resources or resources driven time, allocation, and allocation of dates. And if we go further, allocation of direct resources, allocation of direct resources. Of that, application of indirect resources, indirect resources. Then you have to move further on resource leveling, because uneven histograms will not work. This is it and this is that and this and this. It should be in gradual formation, so that you cannot offload or onload every day resources from site. You cannot say today I bring excavator, I bring a crane, tomorrow I bring it, but after tomorrow, no, it's not like that. You have to level it, so that once you bring it, you should keep it 1 week or 2 weeks after doing your activities. It's okay, take it back, and after 2 months you come back, like that, That's called resource leveling. Means it should be in a defined good curve, not haphazard curve. Of the formation of histograms, yes, you have to define history, projected history and past history, formation of histogram and S-curve. S-curve is a progress curve, for example, and histograms are quantification histograms, resource histograms, means manpower, workforce histogram, equipment histogram, and S-curve means it is a curve that's inside the curve which progress related curves, actual progress and proposed progress, and like that. And then application of material or activities based unit rate cost. Unit rate cost you have to work out. Application of material or activities based unit rate cost, that's very common. Then number of work hours or man hours. Of course histogram will give that, it's related to that. Number of equipment hours, of course histogram related to that one. Then permissible variation in hours. Permissible variation in hours, yes, of course it is a tolerance limit. Then probability of fast tracking impacts that may be successfully applied. Fast tracking impacts. If there is a delay in progress or something else, you require recovery, or you have to say we have to move this project very fast, then you have to take that one. Probability of fast tracking impacts that may be successfully applied. Maybe you may have to augment your resources, and you have to augment your work hours, or you have to augment your working shifts. Either of these or all of these. That after that, calculation of sub-projects cost. You have to work out costs of every project and sub-projects and activities. So calculation of sub-project costs, then calculation of project costs in itself. Then budget estimates. Budget estimates, because if there's impact on budget, you have to keep from time to time how I am moving plus or minus. So this, maybe you are gaining in one activity, you are losing in another activity. This must keep on moving for a balanced expenses and returns. Then planned progress histograms or curve, planned inflow of incoming payment certificates. Means you can plan your cost flow only, your cash flow only, when you know how much sum, how much payment shall we get in this month and in next month and this month and that month, and how much in beginning we have to go invest, and we have to maintain project movement within that cash flow, or you have to borrow from bank or somewhere else just to replenish if that's required. Then cash expenditure. You can say histograms of scope, planned inflow of incoming payment certificates and cash expenditure based on planned progress. And profit and loss forecasting, that can be done if moves fine. And then you can say procurement plan or schedule. When you are doing planning for your work, you have to make procurement plan as well, and schedule for work as well, and material approval as well. Material approval schedule, then drawings approval schedule, and staff mobilization and demobilization schedule, and type of project organization recommendation, and then critical execution problems. After that, there's a competency of personal suggestions, then formation of optimized organization chart, and integration of various sub-projects to formulate or produce program, It is conferencing proposal among management, approval and authorization from management, can say making submission to client, project cost or finance planning, project cost, and then can say after that project organization planning, project quality planning, project safety planning, project system planning, project communication planning, project risk management planning, project closing planning, and dealing with work suspension planning, and planning demobilization, defects remedial planning, and project maintenance planning, or whatever else is required. You have to do that. So what actually we are talking of here? This is basis of your project work. This is present and future of your project. This is astrology of your project. You are writing yourself. Whatever you write here, whatever you think here, whatever you plan here shall impact everybody on this project, every activity on this project, cost on this project, progress on this project, and final delivery time of this project. This is very important, which I have given only in a paragraph. But its research, its power, its explanation are very important, because this is based on your charter, and your charter is described in this from planning viewpoint. This is not, remember, this is factual planning I am giving you, which every project requires. This is not imaginary, this is based on my experience. That's what I am talking of. It involves everybody here. Everybody here. Based on this, you have to develop your site plan, project plan you can say, in addition to company manuals. It can be your project plan, which shall give you every complete details how you are going to do your project. It will give you safety plan, how you are going to manage safety on this project from beginning to end, and quality plan, how shall you work on quality, how shall you manage on quality. It shall give you also when you move site, how shall you move site, how shall you execute site, how shall you move out from site, how shall you work during duration of work, how shall you handle coordination, how shall you handling, you can say, protocols of communication. This shall give rise to many further explanations, disciplinary explanation or activities based explanation, technical explanations as well as non-technical explanations, management explanations as well as administrative explanations. All these planning will work out in further details. So let us review again what we have talked of here, and that is planning duration, scope review and verification, schedule of missing information, contract review, deliveries listing, deliveries milestones, listing of sub-projects, project milestones, impact of liquidated damages, long lead items, major items on project, decision about sequence, decisions about overlapping activities, work-based structure, work packages, detailed activities, activities quantifications, time allocation to activities based on resources or resources driven time allocation, allocation of dates, allocation of direct resources, application of indirect resources, resource leveling, formation of histogram, S-curves, application of material or activities based unit cost, number of man hours or workforce hours, number of equipment hours, permissible variation in hours, probability of fast tracking impacts that may be successfully applied, calculation of sub-project costs, calculation of project cost, budget estimates, planned progress histograms or curve, planned inflow of incoming payment certificates, cash expenditure based on planned progress, profit or losses forecasting, procurement plan or schedule, material approval schedule, drawings approval schedule, staff mobilization, demobilization schedule, type of project organization recommendation, critical execution problems, competency of personnel, suggestions, formation of optimized organization chart, integration of various sub-projects or projects to formulate or produce program, conferencing proposal among management, approval and authorization from management, making submission to client, project cost or finance planning, project organization planning, project quality planning, project safety planning, project systems planning, project communication planning, project risk management planning, project closing planning, dealing with work suspension planning, planning demobilization, defects remedial planning, project maintenance planning. This is major components, constituent of planning we are involved with, every one of us. I have not covered in this design planning because that's little different. It's done by, there you can say direct resources are not involved. I am talking of where resources are involved, interactions are involved, major interactions with resources. Design is very confined and specialized one, and based until project starts it is completely different, and once project starts coordination starts there. So it is little in isolation of that, but it's very important. We'll take it later on. So my question, my projection was for you to understand that don't just think everything is so easy. If you want professional work, you have to think professionally, and this is why I'm intending to just to define how can you manage professionally. What is not defined means we have to define ourselves. Yes, we can take supports, we can take directions, we can take help from those people who know little better than us, but until we have experience, we have complete positive and negative effects of these applications, we cannot define our roles. After all, we are learned people. We have to understand each point, and only then we can analyze every good or bad act which gives us more information, and that's what we have to work and decide our role. And role is not unique. These always keep on fluctuating depending upon your dignity, upon your personality, upon your knowledge, upon your efforts, and upon your determination on top of that, and commitment. Sometimes when you are too committed, you are enrolled powerful, you do not even stick to your role, but you cross your role above or below everywhere. Means you are in that case express worker to fun worker. You do not know your limits, but you produce, which is not illegal as well, because your duty is to learn also. If you are doing something above your role, means you have actually learned something. You are supporting your own, you are supporting your organization, you are supporting your profession. That is admissible, and that is positive projection of your personality. And if you are lacking in that, you are down, you are not able to do your work, that means you are not qualified, you are not eligible for that role. This is all behind that. Well, now say project stages or process include. Now it says what we talked on before. because our roles are dependent on where project goes. Let's say initiation, which we have done already, planning we have talked of. Next comes to execution or implementation, then monitoring and updates, and completion or closing, and administrative controls, followed by maintenance. So you say initiation and planning are affected by both parties, client or owner, and bidder or contractor. As defined in foregoing, as I said, in addition to those constituents of various processes, both undertake certain processes. Now we say from client viewpoint, means owner viewpoint, what do you think of? Meeting deadlines to release bid documents. Okay, from client policy, what do you have to do? Feasibility studies. See, our role will limit to this one. We should know that first. Feasibility study. What client says? Client has to decide whether or not to accept this project. For that, feasibility study is required. And if you know feasibility, then you know what budget you have to use, how much money you have to spend. And then if you do that, what is feed document? What is feed there? Front end engineering design. And then bid contractual documents, giving general. So this is owner which is going to do, means feasibility study, conduct feasibility study. Then devise budget provisions, means not detailed provision, budget means approximate budget, how much this project is going to cost. Not today, in future, because you are not starting this today, it will take few years or couple of months to start that. So you have to project that value of money. This is a budget provision. There may be variation 5% or 10% or 20%. Keeping in mind total quantification and value of land and all. And feed documents means you must have some backup of designs from someone. Means what sort of design we are going to do that. Then bid contractual documents giving general and special conditions. Then definition of risk such as liquidated damages. Then definition of technological licenses. Then you can say definition of transfer of titles for all procurements. Yes, which you procured, contractor procured, there was a transfer of title in the name of honor. The design criteria or philosophies. This as feed is different. I'm talking about design criteria, actual design criteria and philosophies. Because the safety requirement documents, then quality requirements documents, and then bid engineering documents, because a bid specification documents, then bid bill of quantities, invitation to bid processes, bid coordination and clarifications, bid acknowledgements, post bid negotiations, bid rejection or award, if awarded, appointment of contractor, appointment and formal notification of engineer and resident engineer, authorization of engineer powers, delegation of resident engineer powers, constitution of project supervising team, and if bid rejected, invitation of bid again, that could amend provisions with bid documents. Let me repeat it because activities, management activities must be clear. These are all management activities, top management activities. This is not simple management activity, not site management activity. This is honors management activity where engineer is enrolled, contractual engineer is enrolled, management engineer's role is not ordinary. This is forecast of project, this is basis of project. Let's say feasibility studies, budget provisions. Let's say feasibility studies, budget provision, feed documents, bid contractual documents giving general and special conditions, definition of risk such as liquidated damages, definition of technological licenses, definition of transfer of titles for all procurements, design criteria or philosophies, safety requirement documents, quality requirements documents, bid engineering documents, bid specialization documents, bid bills of quantities, invitation to bid, bid processes, bid coordination and clarifications, bid acknowledgements, post-bid negotiations, bid rejection or award, if awarded, appointment of contractor, appointment and formal notification of engineer, resident engineer, authorization of engineer powers, delegation of resident engineer powers, constitution of project supervising team, and if rejected, invitation of bid again that could amend provisions within bid documents. So these are management major roles. Then we can say now bidder to tenderer. Bidder or tenderer, I mean by the same bidder or tenderer, meeting deadlines to submit bid. Now we can say tenderer wants to submit bid. Now what charter is involved there? Let us say that in a different role. Means charter formation. Charter. Let's say charter means this is for tenderer, for bidder, for contractor, you may say, for future contractor. What says? What role it defines? See, process plus response to bid documents. Charter formation process, that is charter for contracting company, what they expect of this bid, of this project. If they do so, means what is their response to bid documents. Means they may accept it or they may not accept it. It's up to them to decide. They want to go for this or they want to go for this. They may say, no, we are not. We have enough project, we don't have time, without resources, or they may accept or bid. Bid may or may not be suitable. Number one, bid may or may not be suitable for that organization. It doesn't mean bid is not suitable, but for them it is not suitable. In case unsuitable, then of course deny it. This bidder shall say, I am sorry, I don't do this time, and return documents to client. If so required, client says, no, get me documents back. It's question of copyright or propriety. I don't allow these documents to keep. Okay, fine, take it back, please. In case suitable, this bid is suitable for this organization, then respond to client for submitting bid. You have to respond, okay, we are accepting this. We want to buy this bid, or we want to do this job. We'll submit to you. Just inform we are going to involve in this bid. We say bid coordinator announcement. Then once you accept this, the way we are working on this bid means you have started work as pre-contracting stage. Then you say we are going to appoint a coordinator for this bid who take care on our behalf in each and every respective bid is filed, bid is submitted. It's called coordinator announcement. This and this person shall look after this bid. This is bid coordinator in organization of contracting company. You say movement further. Proposal coordinator announcement. Bid coordinator announcement and proposal coordinator announcement means a person who is going to work out financially that bid, technically that bid, who is going to take responsibility of that bid. That person is coordinator announcement. Proposal means bid itself is a proposal. We are proposing to that party, that owner, that we are interested at this cost and in this technical style, in this technical statement is there because of technical bid. Then we say bid team member. You have to decide who are there on that bid from all disciplines which are involved in that bid. They have to work out total activities of that bid, quantities, and then they have to work out on rates and everything. That's called bid team members. They have to do specifications on and work out accordingly. And then announcement in organization. Now we have constituted this team for this bid to announce your organization professionally that these people are responsible for this bid. You have to deal with them formally, officially. So that means process of bidding starts. Then say mail circulation to all members and specific bid folder in intranet sharing server. Then it depends on the company, what management they have, they are doing server. So these people are having right to get complete information about all documents related to this bid as well as follow up. And their role means they are working as quantity engineers or rate engineers or procurement engineers whatsoever. Whenever they are involved, they shall use this specific folder of intranet, company's own internal connections on server. And then you can say bid time schedule plan. Now we have to plan, we have to schedule out in how many days shall this work be done. That is schedule plan of this bid. You will take this much time for this bid. Then attendance of pre-bid meeting with client. When you are doing a bid means of course there will be some meeting with your owner, you have to bid owner or work owner, project owner, you have to go and attend meetings with that guy once or twice or 3 times it happens. So you have to be prepared for that. And then raising doubts on bid. Of course you will study bid documents, everything, drawings, specifications, all contextual matters. Then you can say you have to raise your questions where you have doubt on the bid contents and its provisions, and you got clarification on that, and clarification on total scope you have to obtain. And then design issue probabilities means you have to take complete responsibility, means there will be design issues as well, and you, if it's a part of your bid. Then you can say talks of alternative bid to addition to original demanded. Alternative bid, very new fashion, very important, means if you are interested in alternative management of this work, you say no, we can give another bid which shall meet your project requirement, and we had to give in that case both bid, originally demanded bid as well as your own one. That's called alternative bid. On your own you are giving, but you shall not be paid anything on that. In same cost, on your responsibility you are giving that. Just remember. Let me say site visit with client. Site visit means you have to go to site one on an appointed day with owner and see. You want to see question there something, you visit site and see what's available, how far it is and what benefit you can take, what facilities you can use there, what's the greatest questions of everything. And engineer would of course be there along with you and owner, and if not there, some representative will be there. Means you have to go there to know further dates, further details of that bit, just verification purpose of where site is, that is to know how you're going to manage that. Then reporting visit and meeting details to sponsor owner of organization. Then you have gone to visit, then you have to report, and then meeting details to sponsor owner of organization, board, etc., etc., etc. Means this information which you collected or you commented must reach to management of your organization. Then you can say various meetings for bid involving estimation manager, complete bid teams, invitation to quotes from relevant vendors, and this all that process will go on, which includes means meeting for this bid involving client estimation manager or person who is responsible for estimation, and then complete members of this team of bid, then invitation to quotations from relevant vendors as listed on or as listed in your many items or your own short list of a company. The invitation to design vendor means invitation to design vendors if it is EPC bid. EPC means engineering, procurement and construction. This is that type of means you are responsible for design as well. So invitation to design vendors, architects or structural engineers or mechanical engineers, whoever are they. There's a formulating bid in software use means what sort of you're using, and then we have to actually customize to that one according to bid requirement. Then it may be whatever specific software for bids. Previously to be Timberline or something else. I'm not sure about that now. What's that? But whatever is there means you have to comply with that. Computation of quantities, accurately important things. Quantity engineering, which is base and root of bid. That quantification, if you are given by engineer documentation, that's okay, but you cannot rely upon them. You have to find your own actual quantification, which will help you not to take any risk of variations on quantity. Computation of quantity accurately, and rate formation. Then for each item you have to form rates, means how much shall you apply in that item, or how much cost will be for each item. That you have to be specialist of and work out that analysis. We say coordination, then you can say rates formations and comparison of quotes, because you have already invited your vendors, material supply vendors or work vendors, and they have must start goes. This quotations must have started coming in. Collecting those, and you have to compare those, means which is best and for which defines what they have to do, means according to contract specification, according to contract clauses what's required, means those you have to compare and decide which talk to negotiate with, and which rates you have to follow in your tender, because those prices come from your subcontracting vendors or suppliers. Those prices shall be used in your bid, but which it is best in here to ensure it can pass through test of engineer, and that only you can collect all these alternative specifications or alternative material, whatever. It is a great work, detailed work. And you could say coordination and negotiations with possible or prospective vendors, means to talk to them, negotiate with them, which you think that okay. And coordination with possible subcontractors as well. And talking suppliers, so you talk subcontractors whom you expect to be our subcontractors in this project, you get this project. Then producing technical bid, that's very big document. Technical bid. Previously in our profession, there was only one bid that was called tender, for means which comprise complete technical details or usage of will follow them up, whatever is given there, and then this is our total price. That time has gone in industrial projects, particularly professional engineers projects. You have to first satisfy technically I'm competent for this as a company or as an organization. We have enough proven experience of such type of process, and technically we can do what you're demanding. And once you are technically approved, means they say, yeah, we accept you, your technical bid is satisfactory, then only commerce chapter starts. So we have to see what is technical bid, means technical bid plus commercial bid equal to bid. What is that technical bid? That technical bid is, you can say now detail out. Execution statement, means you have to give statement how shall you execute this project. Safety, health and environment plans. Quality plans. Manpower or workforce histogram. Equipment histograms. Possible vendors list with options. Possible suppliers list with options. Possible designers list with options. Designs statements. Design hours. Specialist services documents. Time schedule. Camping and lodging. Site establishments. Warehousing. Laydown areas. Site controls. Site management. Project manager. Project leader. Possible team. Key personal CVs, curriculum vitae, organization administrative documents, capacity of bidder, previous project records, value engineering on project in case bid is awarded, statements of lessons learnt from records. And for commercial bid, this was for technical bid. For commercial bid, producing commercial bid, that is direct cost, indirect cost, markup, additional value to client if awarded, balancing bid amount, conferencing on parallel bidders or rivals, generating their weak points in this bid, innovative technologies to be utilized for alternative bid submission, bid review by sponsors, final documents submission electronically, bid submission in hard copies and soft copies as required. So I will repeat this all just for your freshing memory because it was explanatory. I should say charter formation by contractor. So charter formation process, response to bid documents, bid may or may not be suitable, in case unsuitable, deny bid, and return documents to client if so required. In case suitable, respond to client for submitting bid. Bid coordinator announcement, proposal coordinator announcement, bid team members, announcement in organization that these are members and we accepted to work on this bid, mail circulation to all members, specific bid folder in intranet sharing server, bid time, schedule plan, attendance of pre-bid meeting with client, raising doubts on bid, its provisions, clarification on total scope, design issues probabilities, talks of alternative bid in addition to original demanded, site visit with client and engineer if already appointed, reporting visit and meeting details to sponsor or owner of organization and board, etc. Various meetings for bid involving estimation manager and complete bid team, invitation to quotes from relevant vendors as listed, invitation to design vendors if EPC, formulating bid in software used, computation of quantities accurately, rates formations, comparison of quotes, coordination and negotiations with possible or prospective vendors, coordination with possible subcontractors, processing technical bid then, execution statement, safety, health and environment plans, quality plans, manpower histograms, equipment histograms, possible vendors list with options, possible suppliers list with options, possible designers list with options, design statements, design hours, specialist services documents, time schedule, camping and lodging, site establishments, warehousing, lay down areas, site control, site management, project manager, project leader, possible team, key personnel CVs, curriculum vitae, organization administrative documents, capacity of bidder, previous projects records, value engineering on project in case bid is awarded, statements of lessons learnt from records, producing commercial in that, direct cost, indirect cost, markups, additional value to client if awarded, balancing bid amount, conferencing on parallel bidders or rivals, generating their weak points in this bid, innovating technologies to be utilized for alternative bid, generating their weaker points in this bid, innovative technologies to be utilized for alternative bid, submission, bid review by sponsor, final documents, submission electronically, bid submissions in hard copies and soft copies. These are actually done in contracting or bidder's office, who shall be future contractor. If that bid comes to that person wins, this means there are two main routes. First, you have to define what you are going to do. You have to announce that you are going to work on this bid. You have to constitute team for that. You have to tell your board this we are going to do with these members, these supports. Then you have to work out complete activities on that bid, commercially, technically, specification wise, design wise, every wise. You have to completely work out cost and values of specification. You have to submit technical bid. You have to submit commercial bid according to bid instructions. If both are to be submitted simultaneously in one package, or they are to be submitted on different dates, it depends upon what is required on that bid, and you have to comply with that. You have to tell that party that, oh yes, we are going to work on this bid, and you have to then analyze whole bid. Commercially, you have to analyze. Technically, you have to analyze. You have to find what materials are there, who are vendors mentioned or not mentioned. You have to search out for vendors, working vendors or material supplier vendors, or you can say subcontractors. Means everything you have to study. You have to see specifications. You have to find BOQs. If BOQs is not available, you have to work out BOQs. Then you have to invite relevant parties. This work we are going to do ourselves, but you are for this work. Means you have to decide which work you are going to do yourself by your own company, and which activities you are going to give to that subcontracting company or material supplier company. And you have to invite quotations from them. It's not simply signing a letter. Means you have to give complete details. You have to chart out from your specification books, from the materials or drawings. You have to attach complete drawings set for relevant to that item. You have to find the specifications relevant to that item, project specifications or general specifications, and you have to see if you can quantify that and part of contract that is applicable to them. Then you have to make a letter that we have been invited for this book. We are inviting you in further. We are inviting you for this item, that item which are enclosed here with, and whatever conditions you want for that. You invite that bid, or you invite a supply of materials, and that is very big exercise. It depends upon you are going to do civil work yourself or construction work yourself, and all other service items or specific items or other items. You are inviting those people. That is complete part of your technical package as well as commercial package, and this is technically very big work. You have to go through your specialists, your members, all that specification, everything, and it will take many days because there are many items involved. You have to work on quantity people, you have to work on them. You have to call, my example is in buildings, for example, you can say, okay, we are going to do civil works ourselves, or RCC work we will do, or finishing work we will do, all our services, electrical services, mechanical services, plumbing services, other services, or certain other items, will call vendors for ourselves. So that you have to invite everybody to that. They may accept your invitation, they may not accept your invitation. You have to send to many parties. Some may accept, some may not accept. It depends. So this is all. Then you have to prepare technical bid, as I titled to you. You have to give complete execution statement. How shall you do it? You have to some key CV of members you are going to apply. Then you have to give, these are maybe our subcontractors in future, and these are methods we are going to do with this. And you can say these all submitters have worked in similar way, and we have worked ourselves in a way. We have to give them a complete our series of company, series of people, everything like that. Then we say we are able to do your job. That's what we have to tell them. That is this whole technical bit. How we shall mobilize, how shall demobilize, how can we operate this. We have done similar jobs in those. Then is a commercial bit. That's once it's satisfied them this technical we are fit, they will open our commercial bid, which is relevant to cost, and that's actually required in this. This is actually required in this. So when I say this is actually very lengthy work, we are going to talk to them. We are going to talk means in bid way we are going to talk. This is very explanatory. Now we go move forward. We say that we are on way to bid. Then We say the project stages or process include, means this is the further details, but our bid work. Now what I say that we have talked of this bid, means in this bidding, where do you stand? That's my point. As site guy, as site man, as site responsible, or you can say as site representative, that role requires fixing. They may say that this is, I'm site engineer, why should I worry about bidding and that? Just give me, I'll do this job. You're right. Because your mindset is only for activities, your mindset is not for management. But if your mindset goes to management, then you can understand you are not a layman, you are a management engineer on site. So what certain companies do these days, they say that person who will work on site, that manager, or you may call manager or engineer, whatever you call, project engineer or manager or what, site in charge, that man, that person must be completely aware of this project, that person must take responsibility of the work from every aspect of project, financially, commercially, profit wise, share wise, whatever. So this basic responsibility of project is given to that person, that guy who's engineer by profession and responsible for that project in whatever capacity, defined or undefined. This means organization allows, or you can say delegates responsibility, complete responsibility onto that person to take care of this bid from its initiation to award and award to delivery of project, handover of project. That is role of that person who is going to be site overall whole soul. You may call that person site engineer as well, because that person is going to engineer this project in capacity as contractor, EPC or non-OPC, you can say PC. So that person's role is all as I now talked of. That person is not site engineering person alone, but management engineering person alone. Means high level of site engineer, very high level of site, representative engineer on site, site agent, or you may call project manager, whatsoever term you can give, I don't mind that. But question is responsibility. That person is responsible this way. This point we have to understand very well. So role goes that your role is not limited to site activity alone. If you are in a very high position, you have to take responsibility, either sitting in head office or sitting in site or keeping some representative for you on site. You are responsible for complete procurement of materials, complete procurement of decisions, complete procurement of vendors. You have to decide who is going to work in site in alliance to your board, means your company manager, your company sponsor, who says this, that must be with you in your decisions. They should support your decisions, or they should finally accept that decision. So these activities role automatically come under scope of site. That is what I want to tell you. So once you are on site, you say that I am site engineer, or I am site manager, or I am project manager, or I am company's representative on site to take responsibility of this bid or of this project. Means all your roles from this project or what's project start working in. That is what I want to discuss with you. Role of people, role of engineers, means all these real roles are there, already defined. Means you have been successful, say your company has been successful, your organization, to win this project. You have got it, say. What now your role lies ahead? That you have to say. I will talk from this details later, but let us just talk roughly. My talk roughly is very different. It's based on common sense. Let us say you got this job, you are happy, your company is happy, organization is happy, oh we got this job. Okay, you are happy, you have been congratulated with. Congratulations, you got this job. You got letter of award from your owner or client. You got that letter as well. We are going to give you this job. Let us say that stage has come. Has come or has not come is later. But let us say that stage has come. And because you are responsible, you have to do everything related to this job. You have crossed all tender stages, negotiation stages, everything you have crossed. Let us assume you have to initiate this job. What you have to do then? How shall you move on? That's where discussion lies, where this talk lies in. Just think of. Means you have a letter of award, and this letter says this company is awarded this project, and this is date of start. You have to do all formalities that are given in your contract. And also it says that this person shall supervise. Means this letter says this is your cost or this is your tender or whatever it is, and this person is going to supervise your job. That's called engineer. Then you have to fix one date for entering this contract, executing this contract. You got it. So what is your follow-up after that? You have to do that one. That follow-up is very important in beginning itself, even at first day of your award. What means shall you be able to match that? That's the question. Big question. Means you have not done anything on that. You did nothing on that yourself, but I say you must have done that. Because you are involved with tendering also, bidding also for that project. So you must have complete details of that project. You have to concentrate on that. Rather than rushing to site, rush on, go and start this. No use, don't rush to site. Don't rush, no meaning. Because you won't get anything on site. Let's now talk a little differently. I say, as I showed to you that there's no question of being nervous or lost in mind, because what I said, project stages, which I define again, that is initiation, planning, execution or implementation, monitoring and updates, completion or closing and administrative controls, followed by maintenance. Execution or implementation are also affected by both parties. Both parts, called client or owner and contractor, both undertake certain processes directly or indirectly to meet the scope of contract requirement. Now, execution or implementation process, that is an important one here. Now, client or owner, what it does? Meeting deadlines to release contract documents through engineer, duly executed legally, and contract documentation. Means release of documents, contract documents through engineer, duly executed legally, and contract documentation. Let me speak something. Award of contract declaration by appointment. What is procedure? Award of contract declaration by appointment, as I discussed with you. Award is done. Issuing letter of intent. Award is declared means followed up by letter of intent. Then definition of contract dates. Contract dates have been defined. This is start date and this is completion date. Definition and extent of liquidated damages have been defined on contract itself. Then definition and extent of liquidated damages and adjustment of prices in agreement with contractor. Okay, so what I said, adjustment of prices in agreement with contractor and contract announcement or price, announcement of engineer and designated as contractual. Okay. Definition of powers and authorities of engineer. Announcement of all specialist engineers. In case engineer is from client engineering department or our engineering department. Announcement of consulting engineers and date of kickoff meeting. Dates by which all contract documents be issued, plus appointment of date of site handover to contractor. Dates by which renaming scope drawing. I will stand again. Let me stand better. I can read like this. Okay, no problem. Let me stand better. My glass is not allowing me to read like this. It's a problem. Okay. Fine. Let's do again. This way, no problem to me. I think it's better actually. So, let me say, award of contract declaration by appointment, issuing letter of intent, definition of contract dates, definition and extent of liquidated damages or LDs, adjustment of prices in agreement with contractor, contract amount or price, announcement of engineer designated contractually, definition of powers and authorities of engineer, announcement of all specialist engineers in case engineer is from client engineering department, announcement of consulting engineers or consultants, date of kickoff meeting, date by which all contract documents to be issued, appointment of date of site handover to contractor, dates by which remaining scope drawings to be issued in case of construction contract, final time schedule, requirements for initial presentation, priorities list of certain project areas, dates by which other project plans are required, dates by which design documents are required, requirements of mobilization plan, requirements of execution methods, statements, requirements of engineer's office, location in contractor's premises to surveillance and monitor contractor's design team, requirement of performance bond from contractor and requirement of third party insurance, plus requirements of documents for release of contractual permitted advance sum against banked security. What I am talking here is management level talk of contractors management level, that is dealt with owners management level. Still we are not on site, remember, still we are in office, management office of our contract, and it says that we got award letter. award letter from owner through engineer, you got it. So it simply says that you got this job, congratulations, this is your time limit and this is your price, and you have to enter into a contract with us, decide date within so many days, and then letter of intent is there which gives all these details, and it gives commencement date, contract commencement date, and end date or number of duration days. It also gives, means you get, of course this paper will not say, but contract is there which gives you definition and extent of liquidated damages. LDs, when you are unable to finish this project in time or part of project in time, or you're behind schedule. So you have to bear liquidated damages, or you can say losses to all. Then you can say adjustment of prices in agreement with contractor, contract amount of price, etc., etc., which is already decided. Now adjustment of engineers designated or contractual, announcement of engineer, because in this letter itself owner shall say this person or this organization or this whatever thing they say, this shall be engineer for this project. This is announcement of engineer designated on contractual basis, and definition of powers and authorities of engineer. This is limit of engineer. If it's not defined, it must be defined somewhere in documents. You have to follow that one. Or if it's not defined, then engineer shall clarify itself what is responsibilities, what is limit of those responsibilities. Then it goes to announcement of all specialist engineers in case engineers is from client engineering department, and if it is, then they will say this is resident engineer and this other engineers. The announcement of consulting engineers means all assistants to resident engineers, and this is date of kick-off meeting. Come to our office with all required documents, and we'll conduct a start of work meeting, it's called kick-off meeting, and then dates by which all contract documents to be issued, means contract document shall be issued by engineer on behalf of owner, and that date shall be fixed or has been fixed or can be fixed in kick-off meeting. If not fixed, then appointment of date of site handover to contractor. That appointed date shall be announced, and announced on convenience of both, means which day you are going to take over site from owner's possession. That's called site handover to contractor. Dates and by which remaining scope, you can say drawings to be raised. Then you can say appointment of date of site handover to contractor, followed by dates by which remaining scope drawings to be issued in case of construction contract. Alright, then final time schedule decided, and requirement for initial presentations or priorities list of certain project areas where they think we are on priority basis of this. Otherwise, dates by which other project plans are required, and dates by which design documents are required. Requirements of mobilization plan as well, and requirement of execution method statement. Requirement of engineer's office location in contractor's premises to surveillance and monitor contractor's design team. Requirement of performance bond from contractor. Requirement of third-party insurance, and requirement of documents for release of whatever contractual permitted advance, sum against bank guarantee. So all this means you are now actually going to management step where you have to tell them what we are going to do, and they are telling you what you have to do. This is just in communication mode. When they call you for meeting, okay, come on, sit down, we'll decide today, but at that time you should be prepared as site man with complete details of how you are going to work on this project, because you know site where it is. It's not necessarily that you have to go there and find, you know what you are going to do. because there's a limit that within 14 days of date of award, a schedule, overall schedule, because a master schedule must be handed over or submitted to engineer, which is general clause that master schedule or level 1 schedule of planning should go to engineer or owner, and within, you can say, 30 within 30 days of date of start, you have to mobilize site in full, or at least to an extent we are going to start work. That is called mobilization period. That you be ready for that means your offices or your services on site, or engineer's office or your services on site, and wherever your laborer or workforce shall stay, all this infrastructure to support your project must be ready within that period, and then you have to start. So that mobilization details you have to provide them on the kickoff meeting, and you have to select location on site where your office will be, which information maybe owner is having or those engineer is having to tell you, okay, your plan should be here or not here or here. Means they will ensure, and you to also ensure the services are running. Then you can decide, okay, they can approve their plan, or they can, I meant this one, you keep here, keep cabins here, my cabins here, the way. Means you have to interact with them, their septic tank or containment tank, and how shall trucks come and go, and how shall traffic come and go. All that will decide, and then you have to submit your third party insurance also, third party insurance for your workers, and if whatever else document you can submit. It shall give an impression that you are ready with project. And whatever details could be submitted, you could submit that detail, that's not a big problem. You can also submit an organization chart that you are going to apply for this project. You can also give names of your site agent or other managers or course responsible, your quality engineer or safety. You can give names also, follow-up CVs you can produce later on. Means at least you can tell that we are ready to this. You can provide an organization chart in a very simple way. As well as you can see, if you are ready with your program, you can put that also. If you are not, okay, we are working on that. So like this information, and you can raise questions, also, no problem with that. This is all you are going to do in the first interaction with the client, and then they say, okay, kickoff meeting. This kickoff meeting will meet site tomorrow or the after tomorrow. Once this kickoff meeting is there, and because this kickoff meeting is not simply with, there will be so many people in that meeting, all their consultants, client consultants, all honors representatives, or honor itself. So this is a different kind of meeting where you shall introduce yourself, and they shall introduce you. This is a kind of introduction meeting, and then you can decide that you go to site some date to see actually site handover and take over. That you do that way. You have to go there. Once these documents you submit, they will map to site mobilization, and then you have to mobilize site accordingly, and you have to import all resources. You have to arrange all resources to start site. You may have too many duties there to do. For example, there may be a point that you have to explore site investigation, then you have to call your laboratory for investigation purpose. You have to call your surveyor for setting out purpose, land surveyor. You have to go to various departments, authority departments that level. You have to demand services drawings from them. You have to go to public health engineering department. You have to go to road department or some other department. You have to go to some building department. At least in that area where you are going to work, what problems you will face, you can know underground utilities, or there will be some road block or something where you have to work in stations, or you have to go to telephone department, or you have to go to some other department which would come into way. That's what. Then you deal with laboratories, testing metal testing laboratories, as well as you have to deal with other people who are going to work with you. So this will be very collaborative work, very fast work. You cannot sleep in those days. Sleep means carelessly, and you are going to do initial work, which is where you have to go to buy your containment tanks for septic issues. You have to go to construct toilet on site. You're going to construct your steel yard, steel fabrication yard, or carpenter fabrication yard, or you are going to construct to talk to certain vendors for your metal, temporary metal delivery. and you are going to scaffolding people or some other people, whatever you think is necessary in beginning to protect against people, or to so means you are going to accommodate your workers also. You have to see the workers as they have residence there, they are complete facilities are there, not there. How can you manage? So this 1 meter period is not very big one also. If it's a big project or small, okay, fine. So that's what your initial start is, and you use this a role. Temporary work means it's mobilization work. It's work which is going to be paid throughout you can see during the duration of contract. You have to mobilize and at end you will demobilize. So in between you have to work. So you have many responsibilities there. You have to work in office as well as you have to work on site, as well as you have to work in management, as you have to work your procurement, as well as you have to submission to client. You have many roles to play with. You have to write statements, you write so many things, you have to study drawings, you have to study specifications, you need your assistants with you need this quality angle with you need a safety guy with you, because you have to submit safety plan, you have to submit quality plan, you have to submit statements, you have to submit materials, you have to submit drawings, you have to submit your subcontractors, you have to submit as is required according to your management, according to your statements, according to your processes, according to contract requirement. Everything is required to be, and if it is EPC, you have to deal with designs coordinations as well. You have to propose designers, you have to propose their estimates, you have to ensure they must be approved, you have to propose laboratories for third party, you have to, so many activities are there in the beginning that you have no time even to take tea or coffee, but you have to take tea or coffee also. So first few months are very important from site responsible point of view. You are a site responsible person, so you must be careful for that. That's what it's all about. Means you have to be busy for coordination purpose with your quality engineer, or with your safety engineer, with your planning engineer, with your estimation or your quantity engineer, with your, you can say, whatever else, design engineer, architect. With all you have to interact, and you are very occupied personally at that time, because you are alone, no one is with you. Everybody shall take time to come with you. You may have to work a lot on your computer yourself, or if you know computer otherwise, you have to, these people are not available. Maybe you have to recruit them immediately. It depends, and you have to recruit not only key personnel, but also workers. You have to arrange them immediately. And if it's operating area where some operators working, then you have to take excavation permit also, because you cannot even erect fence there. For that you have to apply for work permit to that authority. That's a part of contract, means hard work or cold work. You have to apply there as well. So you are dealing with all departments, you are dealing with operating authority, you are dealing with public works, you are dealing with workers, you are dealing with managers, you are dealing with companies, suppliers, vendors, and all this hodge and podge. But you have to be systematic. That's where qualification of being systematic lies with you, and you have to work accordingly without any problem, but just concentrating on your duty. You have to keep reading documents, you have to keep reading drawings, or you immediately need assistance on that site. And of course you may need a car, you must be driving all the time, you have to move here and there, you cannot just sit in one place, because starting a job is very important, and once you start it, then somebody will of course be there to support you. But in beginning you will not get any support. But once you know what you have to do, you have spent time, maybe 14 hours a day or 20 hours a day, or how much efficient you are depends upon that, and that is where you are required. And you have to contribute your role, you have to involve in your role. That is very important. That's why I have written all these points. Again, I told you I written just for a refresher, so that you remember at least something you remember. I'll repeat it again, because this is very important role, this is very important point, and that's award of contract, declaration by appointment, issuing letter of intent, definition of contract days, definition extent of liquidated damages, adjustments of prices in agreement with contractor, contract amount of price, announcement of engineer designated as contractual, definition of powers and authorities of engineer, announcement of all specialist engineers, announcement of all specialist engineers. In case engineer is from client engineering department, announcement of consulting engineer or date of kick-off meeting, date by which all contract documents be issued, appointment of date of site handover to contractor, dates by which remaining scope drawings to be issued in case of construction contract, final time schedule required for initial presentation, priorities list of certain project areas, dates by which other project plans are required, dates by which design documents are required, requirements of mobilization plan, requirements of execution method statements, requirement of engineer's office, of location in contractor's premises to surveillance and monitor contractor's design team, requirement of performance bond and from contractors, requirement of third-party insurance, requirement of documents for release of contractual permitted advance sum against plan. Advance sum. Why I said this? Because in certain contexts, when you do bidding at that time, you have to submit tender bond or bid bond, and once you accept the tender bond is invalid, you have to submit performance bond. I'm ready to perform. This is my cost to perform. I'm doing this bond. I'm running away. You can confiscate this performance bond. And at the time also, then some contracts a provision that we will give 10% advancement, or we will give 15% advancement, or we will give 25% advancement. That advancement is given to you against certain guarantees, some security of bank, and you have to give that bond also if you want to get that benefit of contract. You get 25% advance, so you can start work. That's for this purpose. This role is very important. In fact, if you are efficient in this role, this role is foundation of your progress, foundation of your project work. If you put here every effort, you can start project in time, and when you start project in time, they see you are moving, so they have to move with you. That is very important, because everybody will watch you what you are doing. If you are not able to mobilize, this means you will be demobilized simply because you are not suitable for this project. If you mobilize in time, if you arrange every submission in time, if you are able to give, okay, we are going to this material, they are going to submit this sound of control, we have the CVS people, we have this, everything is think that you are going in a direction that you are running the project, then they will come behind you. Your company, engineer, owner shall follow you. Okay, this person can lead us to deliver this project, and you will benefit from your efforts, you will benefit from your services, your professional powers. That is where your role lies in. So you have to work where you see how many roles you have to spend there: technical role, planning role, specification understanding role, analysis of that, vendor selection role, material selection role, subcontracts role, their drawing business, your drawing business, coordination with designer, coordination with statutory bodies, coordination with authorities, coordination with your engineer, resident engineer, coordination with client if required, because you are going to make up execution of contract. So that means so many roles have to move simultaneously. That is where your multifaceted personality is required, because you are going to deal with civil people, you are going to deal with civil and construction people, you are going to deal with HVAC people or mechanical people or lift people or elevator people, you are going to deal with electrical people, CCTV if there is, or any SCADA there is, or LPG there is, or FM200 there is, or whatever there is, or other structure there is, whatever is there, you are going to deal with them. And of course you are going to manage with that long lead items, you are going to manage with so many other items. That all lies in that duration of 1 month. So you have to work on the planning, you have to interact with your planning engineer, and their planning engineer, and you have to interact with your quality engineer, because you have to produce safety plan, you have to produce quality plan, and you have to produce coordination plan, or you have to produce some specific requirement that you have to do. All this you have to do. If you have experience of that one, you can direct those people, because everybody cannot study documents, everybody cannot go through specification, everybody cannot know what is the scope of work. I have not seen people proactive in that way. All you have to deal with them, and whatever they are working, you have to give feedback to them. Do it like this or don't like this. This is that, and that is, you have to direct them, because ultimately it's your role, it's your project, it's your site. So it's not complicated, it's only voluminous, that's all. You are not going to do any rocket engineering or physical chemistry or chemical physics or something. You are not going to do any surgery. You are going to collect many information into one side and move further. Meanwhile, in this period, you have to submit your materials. Concrete is big material, steel is big material. You have to conduct trial mixes. See that. You have to find all material suppliers. There will be 100 material, 200 material. There will be many disciplines. All that you have to sort out. That is where importance lies in. So your beginning means your end. If you begin with full power, you will achieve delivery target. Even if it is fast track, you can move with that fast track, provided other supports are okay. But remember, if you do not sleep, I mean to say, you remain active, they remain active. If you do not remain active, none will remain, because they know you are slow. They may not tell you, but they understand you are slow, and they understand you are fast. They say, okay. Means if you want to command them, you have to command yourself first. Yourself first. You have to do that. That is where profession lies in. Profession doesn't lie in sitting and talking. It lies in thinking and walking. Think and walk, do it. If you cannot do it, ask someone else to do for you. And that someone else has to do for you. That is where question is your concept, your mind, your vistas for this project. That is required. So your role is here. You cannot say my role is not here. Your role is very much there. Other deliverables I will talk later on, because if I talk everything immediately, you won't feel happy. So I say, let us talk of these details later on. Now I will talk in common. Actually, in common is also very important, because after all, it's project, and you cannot just take everything in one go. You have to move point to point, point wise to point wise, and you need some relaxing also. Everything cannot be pushed on you immediately. Why I was talking about role, as I said, about means you have to start somewhere at one point of time. Means you can say, okay, I think I take first, I take lead as a planner. You have a planner, of course, but sometimes it happens that you don't have at that moment when you need. No problem. What you have to do? You are just required to what? To propose master plan. That's called level 1 plan. That's it. There may be thousands of activities. Don't worry about that. You have milestones. This is date of start and this is date of end. You can computerize that if you, otherwise you can get services of someone else. But point is that you have that chart with you in your mind. Sometimes it indicated in the documents itself. No problem. You can say this is my start date and this is my delivery date, and so many activities are there. Maybe you can say major activities only write structure. Maybe 4 buildings, this is structure, this is structure, or this is whole structural time. this is services time, this is this time, this is that time. Means you have to communicate that you know this project, you know milestones, you know when shall you deliver this project. That is where your efficiency lies in. So important thing is this. Then you have already decided mobilization as you submitted the kick-off meeting. This is my mobilization way in 1 month or so many days. I will do it in this, but meanwhile I will start site work also. There's no bar to that. Or I will find this is my services contracts, means I'll take record drawings or as-built drawings from there, or I'll apply for work or start applying for work permit. From your operating authority of that area, you get work permit because you have to excavate that area to services are not there. And then you can also add parallel right to those people who are yours going to be subcontractors. And important thing is you have to study also within that period. You have to study documents, contract documents. You have to study immediate specification, not all specifications, and you have to see immediate drawings. How can you do it? You have to visit site many times. You have to see coordination. Where how can you know coordinates if not given? If you have the coordinates or relative coordinates, then you have to understand them, and you have to call some surveyor, third party surveyor, land surveyor, just to shift your, you can say, fly from some location to your location. You have to get benchmark for labels, and you get benchmark of coordination, and then you have to use surveyor, your surveyor, hire some surveyor for further work. And you have to fence your site also, mobilization part. Then you have to order for your porta cabins, for your offices, for offices of stores, or for your other purpose. You have to start offices for engineer also. That's a part of contract. Then you have to get some toilets of a site, or construct on site itself toilet and bed facilities and toilet for staff and whatever. If they are porta cabins, fine, but for workers, if they are also available on site, not if they, even if they are not staying on site, they are not sleeping on site, they are sleeping somewhere else, or if they are in camp also for them, then you develop camp also, construct camp also for workers. These are very basic activities that pass role of your site guy is your role. So you have to start submissions of materials if you have previous quotations, or you call revised quotations for the suppliers. And 1 month is not that small. Even if you start submitting something, means because this submission is permissible even up to 60 days sometimes, and if due to certain reasons they can grant and mother. So don't worry about that. Means you have to keep coordinating with everybody. That is important, very important. And you can keep on moving to you will be given site representative from resident engineer itself, so you have to deal with that person, with that guy. So I think you cannot find any problem once you understand what project is, how you have to go, and you know it's lump sum or site wise, that is there, and time limit you know. And once you start just thinking and understanding that, it takes some time to understand also some details, no problem for that. You have started moving one point after other point, no panic at all. Even if there are 50 acts, you can do them, no issue. Because once you start doing something, it doesn't take much in that. And you can quantify also through yourself the quantity survey, and you can do it yourself, at least by you can say by standard methods, or by normally you can say methods which are not calculative, but you have to have the idea with what it should be, what the site should be, how it should be done on site, what is you can say methodology here. And once everybody understands that, yes, maybe at that time you're 10 or 15 on site, but in one day it will become, you can say 50 or 100 or 200, whatever way you can think your plan is. And you can apply for people to get in, means from other countries, import them. You whatever want, it's not one direction job, it's multi-direction job. You have to think for safety plan, you have to think for quality plan. Now safety plan or quality plan are not different documents. These are actually all documents. Most of this information you must have given in your you can say what you eat is means you have to give information related to mobilization and startup project both. Yes, you have to call some laboratory also for site investigation of soil, means some excavation. After you get permit, of course, don't see that. If permit is applicable, you can get some laboratory approve, get it approval first, and then let them excavate some and bring a truck and play it there to see what bearing capacity is, or if they have, you have to take some sample and send to laboratory. That also is possible, and you have to in that case see how you can move, how you can work on that. That's very important point means. And you have to find yourself where you are forgetting means. You have to visit certain department, government department, to get shop time, or you have to visit some companies or some big organizations where you can get early material, or they maybe sometimes people keep coming to you because they know you got this contract, so they know it through those departments and they come and visit you, so you give time to them. Maybe they come every day many times. I don't mind that, as far as they're serving us, and we can serve them. Otherwise, this role you cannot compose. This role is very easy if you understand. This role is very difficult if you don't understand. If you don't want to understand, you just want to others to do it, no, forget how to do for you. If you involve yourself with their talks, they will find happiness. Otherwise, no happiness. So be care of that. Then we go to other issues. Means, let me see what time is left now. 3. Okay. You have basis of submissions, but that is for start of work. You have to compose subcontractors also, their contracts, because some shall start coming soon after excavation, some shall start coming soon after a few weeks of excavation. You have to decide for your, if you are doing through subcontracts, your plumbing subcontractor, electrical subcontractor, HVAC subcontractor, then other service subcontractor, or kitchen equipment people, or some other people who will be there for you, with you for months and together, and they may suffer. That's what they may suffer. If they suffer, you suffer. If they don't come in time, generally they don't do because they know output or their earning is very little in that, but they have to come. And not only they, all follow up. You have to talk to many, and you have to inform people we got this job. They should not think that this is a tender. Where they should know that you got this job, and when you got this job, this is different. They think now you have job, you should certainly select someone. That is important. So we have taken a mobilization. You have to ask for cabins. You have to bring porta cabins. You have to arrange for that installation for porta cabins for your office, for engineer's office, and for others, and also for subcontractors. Then you have to move for your steel fabrication yard and carpentry yard and warehouse or something, or if some other services required, water services or septic tank is required, something that you have done that, and you have done it. So there's a question that you have done. Once you have taken this time, you have to take also. Yeah. But it depends, means you have to arrange for then water, construction water. If it's not available, then you also have to arrange for potable water, drinking water, and you also arrange for some refreshment for people. And you have to arrange for safety. You have to tell safety guy these sorts of activities we are going to conduct on these projects. That person must be informed, because safety guy doesn't understand your project. You have to tell up to this level we have to going to cast slabs, or we have to do columns or walls, or we have to go to work without this, and we have to work up to this level. So that person must include those other stipends. That person must write those stipends and submit for approval. And some applies to other whatever submission is there to think is demanded. That submission proposals must be clear. If it's not clear, it's no use. Remember this. This is very important. Sometimes what happens, previously we used to construct septic tank for temporary supply from our offices or from consultant offices or from, now there's a ban actually in Abu Dhabi. They have bans or something like. You have to then make your own arrangement of containment. You can get some toilet like that, or empty toilet where you can go. Now this about site mobilization is going on, well. But you cannot just stop there. You have to start writing your next submission. The plans you have done, planning you have done, and then planning others are doing, plans are doing, and now okay. Then you have to see. You have to see quality. Safety means you have told your safety person that this type of work is there, ground work is there, height is this, and up work is there, or this sort of temperature. That temperature must be known. How many workers will be there? Told them which access to site and how people will move. Where are people? Where assembly? You have to discuss with them. Assembly area is that, or this is office and this is toilet, and where means whatever there that person will know from, and you have told them this you can follow. So that is called safety management, where safety comes from others, from your colleagues. No, it comes from your heads. They have to tell you what to do, or you have to tell them what I'm going to do. As far as this is contractual, this is not extra contractual. That's what where you have to think of. Then your quality. I'm like a drop of water before my throat is drying up. Okay. So your main concern is interaction with quality. Quality plan, because safety guy can take care to some extent himself when you tell him about site, what sort of site it is, what sort of activities on site are. Because safety is to many extent, many actually standardized, but quality is something different. Because it's quality only that will decide your site status, that shall decide you are really contractor or not, you are really engineer or not. So quality system is little different. It's different. First of all, you understand system, then you apply quality management. And it's not that easy as you just say put some inspector there, quality engineer there, that shall take care of this. No, I don't agree with that. Never I agree with that. Because quality is a system of engineering. It's not simple quality. It's system of engineering and construction that you are going to do. So you must know what you have to do, how you have to do, what's best way, what's best material, what's best. Everything you have to know, and that is transformed to ITPs, or called inspection and testing plans and checklist. And that's not easy, checklist and ITPs. If work is not correct, it's not per requirement, you will get fail all time. So you have, first of all, you need a reliable quality engineer or manager, whatever you can call. To me, that's not a big issue. Quality man must be an engineer first of all, that I understand. I don't need non-engineering quality person. There are non-quality engineering persons, but they are only for some to do paperwork go here, and that's not enough. Quality man should be that much smart who can say this is wrong, this is right. If your quality guy just doesn't confine only to IS 9001 standards, but is flexible and can produce better than what you use, well, you have to chart out items in collaboration with quality engineer. These are major items for project. Maybe 50, maybe 100, and these are specifications for each item. And this is involvement of these permanent items on this area, on this area, and on this area. And there are so many areas where these items belong to. So you have to interact and tell them, let them read documents, because it's not simply quality control works here. That guy takes care of quality control, but you take care of quality system. So quality guy discusses with you about each activity from survey, excavation, foundation to top. Okay. Now you have given a list of activities to that person. You have given list of expected quality personnel and their eligibility criteria and their all criteria are there. Right? Now your quality guy tries to channelize these activities typically. If you think typically it won't work because there are variations on site and specifically pouring of concrete or some other item are going to be done in a different way, then you have to specifically provide the details to this team. If these details are not very well done, we have to think that way. No way out. Okay. So you tell your engineer that this is specific area, we have to plan accordingly. This is material which you have to do trial mix. This is that material, we have to take it from laboratory testing. For example, soil testing. Soil testing is required. Parameter have been defined that you must achieve this much bearing capacity. Then you have to prove it. That is a part of quality management. You have to call laboratory, hire them for testing. That must be done in time, because that will decide whether or not your design is right or design got, or you have to revise that or do design again. Then this is soil testing of, say bearing capacity testing. Then of course there is field testing. You have to send material to laboratory and test it, and that quality guy must know what tests are there, full range tests or what tests they want according to specifications. So that is point of testing. Point of metal, then we have to send concrete blocks for testing, hollow concrete block or solid concrete block or other materials as are required. So testing from a quality viewpoint and methodology from quality viewpoint are bigger jobs, and because quality plan covers all this, though quality is a separate one, but theory is the other. After that, once you have gone through this scope of quality, then you have to sit with the person and decide about what sort of people we need for quality in all items which are relevant to this, and how shall we inform this to them, because this is very medical job, this is not critical job, this is really quality job which needs your concentration, your knowledge of whole contract, your specification knowledge, because why it happened in China, because it's not clear. It's not clear. Generally, all major items shall require method statements. That too you have complete with quality people. Quality guys think they are slaves of this. Well, quality management is different one, and I think is cumbersome one, because not only you, that person also needs a backing of knowledge, methods, codes, and procedures. That person must understand specifications. Alright, so your quality program starts. Quality plan. You have to define job description. First, you have to define this is project. This is my project. This is my aim. These types of activities or components are involved. These types of activities shall be conducted. This type of, you can say, drawing shall be dealt with. These are standard activities and these are specific activities. All that you have to provide in that for purpose of your making this quality engine aware. And then you have to decide what is your philosophy. How shall your head office link with this office and with other offices? All have to decide on that day. So it's not simply taking up something, you have to do something. And then you have to involve with specific vendors, specific subcontractors, so that they give feedback to you. So you have a thick quality plan, little thicker safety plan with all detailed sketches. And quality means quality has to be given to all occupants of buildings. So what if someone was 1 hour before? Cannot be 1 hour before. That's not possible. Well, so we are moving towards, you can say, build up of this you can say, building up of this management documents, and that is where role of engineer lies, role of you can say project engineer or site agent of you. You have then means to take all this submission you have to make formally. It's not simply that. You have to, maybe in quality you have 50 pages or 100 pages or 70 pages. In 70 you have only 40. So well, because you are old and he accepted you, so he will accept that, no problem. That's why if a senior person is required somewhere, if currently, so don't think that you force someone. Then you have to move further. How to start? How to receive your mobilization items? You have to fence up, you have to gate up, you have to pass arm barrier there. You have to take road clearance if your big transport is coming, your trailers is coming, maybe there are some road regulations, and you have to get those through. You have to got that through. That is also very important. So this procedure is very heavy in the beginning. Then you have to reach your application work permit to this authority. You have to apply to those statutory departments or drawings and all that. And you have to supervise your work also on site. Carpenter shed is starting it. And transportation institution is sorted out. You are vacating those force. And then it's everything very, very, very lousy. And of course it is busy, intelligent, but interesting if you are finding interest in that. But I don't think we want to talk this about those young. They take it jokingly. So what I said is that I don't want to complicate things here. Means you are doing all design study, you are doing specification study, you are analyzing whole area, you are working towards submissions of these packages to these authorities and also for yourself, and you are planning out what material you have, what you have. what documents or what you can take from those people. That is all is very much available here and is approved. So I would say I will not take much more time for this because already more. I will close today's talk and we will talk later on with this just for representation again. My representation what I am here, and I leave this for you to think on, and just comment if you think that my interaction with talk is good for you or I to improve. That is also very important because what I think I am talking it doesn't mean that you are understanding. You have to of course give your feedback if you can. If you think it's you are doing your job, and then just I close it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Goodbye. Meet you again, and that's it.